Why are you so tense, god damn it?
Because I don't know what I'm doing!
Calm down.
Hello everybody! It's Philly Kuts with Choi.
What's up?
What's up? And this is the inaugural episode of Beer with the Kuts. And today I'm going to be sampling Polaner Hefeweizen, which is about... Dad gave me this about 2 years ago. This is in my backlog of beers. Remember the videos I put out? I have backlogs of video games, CDs, DVDs. Well, I have backlog on beer. And I'm going to drink this for this because it's probably stale, so I can't really review a stale beer, you know, because that would be unfair to the beer. So there's the cap for the cap collectors. And Polaner has, like, the best caps ever. Alright, so today we're going to talk about a movie we saw on its opening weekend. We saw The Return of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Last Stand. It's his first movie that he starred in, where he's been like the main guy, main billing, in about 10 years. We looked it up on IMDb, or whatever it's called, and it appears that, what, The Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3,
that
was the last movie that he's really been like the main dude in.
Main character.
Yeah. So we know that he's been in Expendables as cameos, and we know that he's been, what, like Around the World in 80 Days?
Yeah.
And there's even been a couple other movies that he's been in, but as far as, like, this is an Arnold movie, like it's Arnold, it's been about 10 years. So, Roy, what was the story about? What was the, just, you know, quick summary of what was the plot of the movie? And what was basically going on?
Well, the story was about this cartel, this drug cartel lord or whatever, and he was captured by the FBI, and the FBI was trying to transport him to a correctional facility.
He was going to go to death row in a federal facility.
But then what happened was, by the turn of events, he escaped. And then he has to go back to Mexico. And by going back to Mexico, he has to cross a border. Right?
He has to cross the Mexican-United States border, but he has to go through Arnold's town. And we forget what the name of it was. What, something Junction, right? Somerton Junction. And that's where Arnold is the sheriff. Now, Arnold has a history in this movie. He actually worked in LA before. He was like some big-time drug, vice, narcotics police officer, leader, something of that sort. He got involved in a bad, like, firefight with some drug dealers back in the day.
Spoilers.
Well, that's not too much of spoilers. Well, it explains why he's there.
Alright.
He had enough of the bloodshed LA, so he decided to come to this border town in Arizona.
Take things easy.
And take things easy. Not much is going on down there. You know, you might have a few drunks or whatever. So it's a sleepy, sleepy town. Now, what did you think of... So we don't want to give too many spoilers, so we're just going to kind of keep it basic. What did you think of it as an Arnold movie overall? Like, just being back from like a 10-year hiatus, and so we have a bias, obviously, because we like Arnold. We're Arnold fans. At least I am. I'm a huge Arnold fan. I grew up with Arnold.
I grew up with Arnold too. Watching
I'm a lot older than him, but
yeah, you know, it was alright. He didn't actually do a lot of one-liners this time, you know. Like, I was expecting like him doing a lot of one-liners, but
yeah, the one-liners weren't very quality, right? So like we knew, like, kind of like, you know, it's an Arnold action movie, right? So you know that there's going to be the one-liners, right? Like action sort of sequence, or he's about to kill someone, he gives a one-liner, he shoots the gun, one-liner. And they weren't that good, right? Like, I don't want to give any of them away, but they weren't, like, very...
they weren't unique.
They weren't very memorable. It wasn't like Predator, where he fucking sticks the guy with the machete into the trees, like, stick around. You know, it wasn't just, like, classic, like, quality one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of disappointed by that, weren't you?
The one-liners were, but
the one-liners were lax. The main villain, who was a drug lord, a Mexican drug lord. In the movie, they said he's the worst drug lord since Pablo Escobar. He's being transported. They're in Vegas. They're transporting him to a federal prison to go on death row. His fellow drug cartel people construct an escape. And it's an elaborate escape. It's kind of like fantastic.
Planned out, very planned
there's
out.
a lot of plot holes in it. Like, you're just kind of like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this shouldn't happen like this.
Mm-hmm.
But you could kind of like, forget about it and you kind of go with it, right? Did you feel like you could kind of go with it?
There were a lot of plot holes. I mean, not much, like a couple probably.
So they basically write the script in that this drug cartel leader, this Gabriel Cortez, is a former or a current race car driver in South America.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of the escape, they somehow got this guy a stolen car. They must have stolen the car from an LA car show, remember? It's some like elaborate custom-made Corvette. I forget the 01 like Corvette, right? And it can go like 200 miles per hour or something. And this guy has the skills to drive it, like crazy, crazy driving.
Mm-hmm.
So they get into a firefight during the escape, and he kidnaps a female FBI officer, and then he's off to the races. He's off towards the Mexican border. And he has people near the Mexican border that are in Arnold's town, and they have to construct like a bridge to go across this ravine. from the U.S.
That's like that's like the
yeah.
That's like the spoiler.
It's not that. Not really. No, it's just setting up the press. That's just basically the thing. He has to get across the board.
It's actually a spoiler.
Well, maybe we'll keep this in. Maybe we won't. But he has to get across the border. You get the point. We said that Arnold's one-liners weren't really up to snuff.
Yeah.
Do you think Arnold overall did a good job, though?
He did a very good job with the eye. I mean, he was kind of like old, though, but, you know, he was alright for an old guy.
He was looking kind of old. I think that his age is catching up to him a little bit.
Yeah,
He's about, I looked online, I thought he was close to 70. He is. I thought he was like 69, 70, but he's 66.
66.
Yeah, so he's senior citizen status, like for real. You're not gonna see Arnold with his shirt off in this movie at all. Like, he's fully clothed.
I was actually.
You see some of his bicep a little bit, right?
I was actually expecting him to be like Stallone in his recent movies.
Yeah, Stallone's a freak. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he's like mad old. But
HGH overload with Stallone, isn't it?
Juicing.
He's juicing, man. I'm seeing him in like new previews, and he's just out of control. Like he looks like Madame Tussauds like wax figurine down in New York City at the Wax Museum. But Arnold just, I mean, I think he did a good job too. I think that he kind of like almost took like a back seat to the other actors in a way in a lot of the scenes, especially when Johnny Knoxville was in the scenes. And let's talk about Johnny Knoxville, because I was surprised because he wasn't in the movie as much as you would think.
Yeah, he wasn't in the movie that much.
Right, so you would think that Johnny Knoxville would be in the movie a lot.
He played a very minor role.
Yeah, it was a very minor role, but when you watch like the previews on television and stuff, he gets like the second billing. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Johnny Knoxville. And Johnny Knoxville really is only in the movie probably, right, we estimated if you add up the time,
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, yeah. He kind of plays a nutball. He's like a screwball. He owns a gun museum that's only open one day a month. Remember, it's like the second Thursday of every month, and they have like Gatling guns and all kinds of like ancient antique guns. And I don't know. He kind of is like the poster boy for why the Second Amendment is being under attack right now, you know? And I hope that doesn't piss a lot of people off when I say that, but basically you probably, but you look at this Johnny Knoxville character and you're like, this dude shouldn't be able to have guns, right? Much less like a museum full of guns. The villains were good. I think the guy that played the cartel boss was pretty good. I mean, he wasn't like that memorable, I thought, but he was good. How about Forrest Whitaker?
Oh,
the FBI,
he was
main
actually,
FBI agent.
He was actually one of the best actors.
You thought so?
Yeah.
You thought so?
Because he played the part pretty good.
I thought he was kind of one-dimensional a little bit.
What do you mean one-dimensional?
Like, he was just kind of, like, always pissed off because it seemed like everybody was just getting things over on him, you know, like the drug cartel. And Arnold kept hanging up on him on the phone, and it just seemed like he was always just, like, kind of pissed off.
But after, like, well, at the end of the movie, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but he did, like, you know, was a happy guy. Yeah,
he kind of did a bit of a reversal. It was pretty good. The characters were good. You had Luis Guzman.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he added a lot of comic relief. If you know Luis Guzman, I know him mainly from Boogie Nights. He's a Puerto Rican actor. I think he's from the city, from New York. There was only one main female character, well, two female characters. The hostage that the cartel guy took, and then the female sheriff.
Yeah.
But she wasn't really that memorable, really,
she was
right?
just a add-on.
Yeah, she was, you know, she's very pretty, and I mean, I hate to be, you know, just commenting on a woman's being pretty, but that's pretty much, she was hot.
She was just an add-on.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're not going to be like, oh my god, her performance was great.
Yeah.
There was some good action sequences. There was one action sequence in particular where Arnold had to kind of bail out the other, like, rookie sheriffs in a firefight. Oh,
yeah.
Right?
He was a savior of some sort.
Yeah, he was a savior. He came in in his car. And I think I give credit more to the director on that for making Arnold still seem kind of badass, you know. Roy and I both thought that the pacing was pretty good. We never felt bored during it. I thought that the director did a really good job of making the movie flow, right?
Yeah, I thought that was actually interesting. Like, the movie wasn't actually boring. Like, I thought it was going to be boring and then get to the action, but it was actually, like, pretty interesting.
Yeah, right? And I thought everything kind of flowed well together. Like, you would have pretty intense scenes that were pretty violent, and Roy's going to talk about that in a second. But at the same time, they were able to, like, sprinkle in the comic relief of, like, Luis Guzman and the Johnny Knoxville characters. They kind of sprinkled it in at the right moments, and it seemed to work. You know, it just flowed really well. But it was violent.
Oh, yeah, the movie was pretty violent. Very graphic. You know, it's like a Tarantino movie.
There were some interesting death scenes in there.
Oh, yeah.
All I'm going to say is Johnny Knoxville takes out a guy with a flare gun and some crazy shit happens. That's all I'm going to say, right? You know what I'm talking You remember what I'm talking about, right?
That was actually...
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's pretty...
That was actually pretty funny, though.
Yeah, it was funny, but graphic. You know, think Kill Bill kind of, you know, wackiness. And there were some crazy headshots too. I mean, they were unapologetic about.
That one was not really. I mean, it was very graphic, man. I'm just gonna say it was graphic. If you're gonna watch this movie, you're gonna expect a lot of blood and fucking headshots. And
there's an ample use of a school bus.
Oh, yeah.
And with what's been going on with, like, the Newton shootings in Connecticut. I give them credit, though, for keeping the scene in. I think maybe because it's Newtown happened so close to this movie coming out that they probably didn't have time to edit it and re-release it. Because I think if maybe it happened, like, if Newton would have happened and then, say the movie was like 6 months out from the release, I bet you they might have edited it. You know what? Because it was a school bus and all that. So we're just going to leave it at that. There were some school bus scenes in there that were pretty graphic and violent. There were no kids involved. But they used the school bus as a prop in this movie. And, you know, and I give the makers of the film credit for not, you know, buckling on any type of editing that may have
well, yeah,
people may have called for that.
And there's another thing about the movie.
What's that?
It's there might be some scenes that are very cheesy. You know what I mean? Remember?
Yeah.
You know what scenes I'm talking about? Like they just added in like some scenes where the girl, you know, falls in love somehow with the fucking guy.
Yeah, there were a lot of like cliches in this movie too. You know, you have like Arnold's like the veteran cop who's seen it all, and then you have the rookie deputies. You have the one rookie deputy that wants to get out of there because he's bored, and he asks Arnold actually to write him a recommendation so he can become an LAPD officer. And then you have the badass who's in jail, and he used to bang the female deputy, and then you wonder if they're gonna get back together. So, you know, there were a lot of cliches, and I don't know, but for some reason I felt like it worked. You know, I mean, I just didn't feel like it aggravated me so much that I didn't like the movie. You know.
I just think it was too much though. They put that shit on there. Too
much.
Yeah, it was like very obvious. Like,
well, it was like convenient writing. It's like looking back at it's like Gabriel Cortez, right? He's like a former or a current like race car driver, and then he's able to have this Corvette. You know, like it was just like you could say it was like lazy writing, or you could even say it was creative. I don't know. It depends on your point of view.
I like the part where I'm just gonna put out some spoilers, man. Fuck it.
Alright.
Remember when he was chasing the guy, you know, the Corvette, and he finds like a Camaro on the side of the fucking street?
Yeah.
And then he actually drove the Camaro, but
Arnold.
Arnold drove the Camaro.
There's a scene in the end. They have to like. They know that Cortez is coming to town. They get warned by the FBI that Cortez is going to be coming through. Well, no. Originally, remember Forrest Whitaker, the FBI boss character, calls up Arnold and says, "Hey, look, we got this, you know, drug cartel fugitive on the run. He may be making a dash for the Mexican border through your town." So Arnold was ready, and they were prepared to know that this guy was coming. And what Roy is saying is that there was a scene.
There was a scene where he found a Camaro on the side of the road, you know, a Chevy Camaro.
On Main Street of this little town.
And after he finds it, it actually cuts to him driving it. Now, how the fuck did he get the keys?
Where did he get the keys to this, like, parked car? So that was, like, a plot hole or loophole that we just couldn't, like, wrap our heads around, you know? You may say we're nitpicking, but still, it's like they didn't show him fucking hot wiring it. They didn't show him like breaking into it and ripping off whatever to try to start it. He just got in it and it just went. They didn't even show it with the keys in the ignition. Right?
Exactly.
It was just like one scene they kind of show it, and then the next scene Arnold's like ripping through cornfields on it. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
And then the final part, which actually was really confusing for me, was the part where after he drives and gets this guy, you know, he drives the Camaro going back to town, right? And the owner of the Camaro comes out, and he actually tosses him the keys.
Yeah,
they never showed.
It's almost to like piss you off, like, oh yeah, here are the keys. We could take it further and be like, it was even maybe more annoying that there was so much Chevy automobile placement in this movie, because Camaro is a Chevy, and Corvette is too, right?
Chevy, yeah,
so there was like extreme product placement for Chevrolet in this, you know, like, woo, you know,
you got GMC cars,
right? It was crazy, right? Like it was just they're showing it on the computer, like going in 3D, like it was just ridiculous. It was like Forza Motorsports or.
It was like they were trying to sell the thing.
Yeah, you know, well, the average moviegoer wouldn't, I mean, I can't even imagine how much that Corvette must really be. But, you know, it was really putting, like, the Chevy name out there. It was kind of annoying. So, do you want to do an A through F rating, or do you want to do 1 through 5 stars? What would you want to give?
I think A through F.
Alright, so what would you give it? You go first.
Man, the movie was actually pretty good, you know? I mean, I was expecting like a cheesy action comedy one-liner movie because Arnold is in it.
Right.
But it was actually pretty good. It was not what I expected. The action was good. The pace was good. You know, there's some cliches here and there, but I'd give it a B, man.
A B?
Yeah.
Okay.
That shit.
I would give it probably about the same.
B.
But it was... I did expect it to be like this, but not as much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, I was let down by the one-liners, and it did have some of the one-liners in there. But I thought, like, the action sequences were good.
Action sequence were very good.
I thought, like, Arnold was good. And I just thought, like, the interplay between the characters was really good. I cared about the characters in a way. Even though that you didn't really, like, learn too much about the characters. But at the same time, when certain characters got hurt, I did have a reaction, you know, like, right? Like, I was like, oh, you know, like, ooh, you know. And you didn't want to see the characters get hurt.
You didn't want to see them die.
So it definitely, like, pulled me in on that emotional level, even though that they weren't really developed that much. But it did, I thought it was, like, a good action movie. Not quite, like, summer blockbuster action movie, right? Like, it's not, like, a Batman Begins type level action movie or anything like that, but for a movie being released in the dead of winter, you know, because we all know that the big blockbusters are released, what, in the summer, right? So I think for, like, an action movie to be released in the dead of winter in New York, where we're from, I think it did a really good job.
It was
so I would agree with your rating, you know, for slightly different reasons, but yeah, I would give it a B.
Go watch it.
Yeah, I would say if you're an Arnold fan, definitely go see it. It's not his best work. Like, let's put that out there. It's definitely not Arnold's best movie, but it's certainly nowhere near his worst. And he's had some pretty shitty movies to like...
Tell him about the shitty movie.
That's another video, man. I can't.
Are you gonna show him the clip where he goes, I'm not ugly, I'm beautiful?
That's gotta be another... That's a whole nother fucking
You
video.
can actually put that there.
Yeah, but we're going on like 25 minutes here. I'm looking at this thing. This is gonna be a chore for me to edit. Or I can just upload it. I don't know.
No, don't upload it.
I can just do the DSP method.
I
know, I have to edit.
You gotta edit it, man. You gotta have some production value.
Alright, so guys, this has been a Beer with the Kuts first episode. And like I said, this isn't like a movie review, Beer with the Kuts. Beer with the Kuts is about anything. So I can review a movie. I could talk about current events. I could... I don't know, talk about a video game. It could be anything.
Talk about the gun laws.
Yeah, it could be about anything, right?
Yeah, anything.
And I could be by myself, or I can be with another person. So, I hope you guys like this, and if you don't, but I'm sure you will. Alright, so Last Stand, Choi and I both give it a B. Check it out. And if you're not an Arnold fan, go watch it. If you're not, rent it when it comes out.
Or
would you say?
Yeah, or download it or something.
Or do whatever, steal it.
Whatever,
Alright. Peace.